In Microsoft OneNote, the Insert toolbar has a lot of objects that you can insert onto a page. Let's start with the topic of tables. I'd like to insert a table, so I'm just going to go to the Table button and click. A table is when you want to organize information into rows and columns. So let's say I want to create a 2-column and 5-row table. So I select 2 columns and 5 rows and I click. And immediately that's what I've got. I can then start to fill in my table. If I press the Tab key, then I can actually move to each cell. And the Shift tab for your information goes backwards. But I'm just going to use Tab to go forward. If I press the Tab key past the last cell, I'll generate a new row. And this is very handy. You'll notice the width of the column starts to increase to accommodate the text that I'm typing. But I can also drag this particular edge and widen the width of a column or narrow the width of a column should I want to. Okay, so we've got a table. It's got 2 columns and it's actually got 6 rows now. The borders are the lines that you can see here. Now the borders print. I may not want to actually print the borders. If I select the table, what I notice up here in my menu is I have an extra option to the right of help called Table. And that only appears when I'm sitting in the table. Let me click under the table and you'll notice it disappears. Let me click in the table and it reappears. If I then select the entire table, this particular button or option allows me to control what happens with my tables. And the button I want to look at the moment is Hide Borders. If I was to click this button, the lines would disappear. The table still exists and my information is still organized and arranged into rows and columns. It's just that the borders don't print. But if I do want to print the borders, then I'll turn off Hide Borders and my borders are back and these lines will print. The other thing you can do is you can change the number of columns and rows. For example, if I click on Name and I want to insert a column in front of this column, then I have the option Insert Left. When I click Insert Left, a column is inserted to the left of where I was. If I click Delete Columns, that column is now deleted. If I insert Right, a column is inserted to the right, and if I delete columns, it's now removed. If I insert Above, a row is put above, and if I click Delete Rows, that row is deleted. If I click on Examples of Work and insert Below, a row is inserted below, and again I can delete that row. So we can easily insert rows and columns and delete rows and columns. The other button you may notice on this toolbar is Shading. I can, for example, select a group of cells, 1 or more cells, and I can choose to shade those cells in a particular color. So I'm going to go for a green. And so there you have a table. So you can create basic tables in OneNote. You can also copy and paste tables from Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint and other applications into a page in OneNote. OneNote doesn't have strong capabilities because certain things that you may be used to in Word, such as merging cells and splitting cells, will not be available. But you can create basic tables in OneNote.